Hey there, welcome back to Psychology Amazing Facts, the place where we decode human behavior, relationships, and social dynamics. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications because trust me, you don't want to miss any of this mind-opening stuff we talk about. Now let's jump right into today's topic. Today, we're diving into something that's been buzzing everywhere, especially on social media, in coaching circles, and, let's be honest, around coffee tables too. This one's especially for the strong, smart, and stunning women out there who are stepping into a new phase of life but want to maintain not just their charm, but their self-respect in the world of relationships. Now, I know the title sounds bold. Older women do not do these 7 things with men, they'll lose all respect. And while that might sound a little dramatic, the truth is it's rooted in real psychology, backed by countless social observations. And honestly, it's something both men and women could stand to hear. Let's paint the picture for a second. Age is just a number, right? Society's finally catching up to this idea that women over 40, 50, 60, even beyond, are not only attractive, but they're often more confident, more self-aware, and honestly, more interesting than ever before. But there are some habits, some mindsets, and some behaviors that can really chip away at the way men see you, even if they respect you on the surface. And here's the thing, this isn't about pleasing a man. And it's definitely not about shrinking yourself to fit anyone's standards. This is about self-respect, dignity, and setting the tone for mature, healthy, authentic relationships, whether you're dating, married, or even just flirting for fun. Let me tell you, men notice everything. Sometimes it's subtle, a reaction, a phrase, the way you hold yourself when something uncomfortable happens, and other times it's glaringly obvious. But the point is, once a man starts to feel like the respect is fading, the dynamic changes fast. So the first thing I want to talk about is this. There's a difference between being nurturing and being someone's mother. Now, older women are often admired for their wisdom and emotional intelligence. It's one of your biggest strengths. But when you start mothering a man, telling him what to do, how to dress, what he should eat, or managing his life, for him, it doesn't inspire respect, it actually triggers something in the male brain that makes the romantic spark fizzle. Men don't want a mother figure in a romantic relationship, no matter how sweet or well-meaning the intentions. What they want is a partner, an equal, someone who brings their own fully formed life to the table. You don't have to solve their problems, you don't have to teach them how to live, you just need to be yourself. And let's talk about self-worth. For a minute, one of the most attractive qualities at any age is confidence. But here's what I see so often, especially with women who've been through life's ups and downs. Sometimes you settle for less than you deserve. Maybe it's out of loneliness, or maybe it's the fear of starting over, or the belief that all the good ones are taken. But the second you start lowering your standards just to have someone next to you, the respect starts eroding. People, especially men, sense when you don't truly value yourself. It shows in the way you tolerate bad behavior, the way you make excuses for someone who doesn't show up for you, and even in the way you let small, disrespectful things slide. And once you start accepting less, the other person will give you even less. It's human nature, not personal. Now let's switch gears a little. Humor, charm, wisdom. These are all magnetic traits. But there's one trap that so many fall into, especially when trying to connect with a man who might be a little younger or someone you feel uncertain about. It's the trap of self-deprecating humor. Now don't get me wrong, laughing at yourself now and then is healthy. But constant self-deprecation, especially about your age, your looks, or your worth, sends a very clear signal. You don't see yourself as valuable. And if you don't believe you're valuable, why should anyone else? Real respect starts when you show pride in who you are, not arrogance, but quiet confidence. The kind of confidence that says, I know my worth and I won't apologize for it. That energy is irresistible and it builds genuine respect faster than anything else. Let's touch on emotional boundaries. This one's a biggie, sometimes because women are natural caregivers and deeply empathetic. You can fall into the habit of oversharing too soon, especially when you meet someone who finally feels like they get you. The temptation is to spill your whole life story in the first few conversations, past relationships, heartbreaks, mistakes, regrets, even personal traumas. And while vulnerability is the foundation of connection, timing is everything. Oversharing too soon can shift the dynamic from romantic interest to emotional caretaker. It puts the man in the position of comforter rather than equal, and that can dilute the sense of mystery and emotional depth that makes the early stages of attraction so powerful. Now let's talk about independence. This is where modern dating can be both a blessing and a curse. A lot of older women have spent years, maybe decades, learning to stand on their own 2 feet. Financially, emotionally, socially, you've built your own world. And while independence is an absolutely essential quality, when it crosses over into rigid self-reliance, it can make the other person feel like there's no room for them. Men don't want to feel unnecessary. Respect goes both ways, and when you let your guard down just enough to let someone contribute, whether it's helping you with a task, offering advice, or simply being there for you, it shows strength, not weakness. True strength is knowing you can do it all on your own, but choosing to share your life with someone anyway. And let's not forget communication. In any relationship, the way you speak and the way you listen shape the entire dynamic. One mistake that can really chip away at respect is passive-aggressive communication. It's the sarcastic remarks, the silent treatment, the unspoken expectations. Mature relationships thrive on clear, honest, direct conversation, not games, not guesses. When you communicate with clarity and respect, you inspire the same in return. But when you fall into emotional manipulation, even unintentionally, it creates distance. Men, just like women, want to feel safe in a relationship. Safe to be themselves, safe to make mistakes, and safe to express their own feelings without fear of being punished or ridiculed. And last, but definitely not least, let's talk about authenticity. You'd be surprised how many people, of all ages, still try to mold themselves into what they think their partner wants. Whether it's changing your hobbies, pretending to like things you don't, downplaying your beliefs, or even altering the way you present yourself, it always backfires. When you hide your true self just to fit someone else's image, you don't get their real respect, you get their convenience. Authenticity is magnetic. When you show up as you, unapologetically, you give the other person permission to do the same. And when two people are both authentic, that's where the real magic happens. So to all the incredible women listening, remember this. Age doesn't define your worth. Your relationship history doesn't define your future. The way you carry yourself, the way you hold your boundaries, and the way you embrace your life experience, that's what earns you not just attention, but deep and lasting respect. And the right man, the man who truly deserves a place in your world, won't lose respect for you because of your age, your past, or your imperfections. But if you fall into these habits, even the best connections can erode. This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about showing up for yourself and letting the right people meet you where you are, not where you're willing to shrink just to be accepted. And there you have it. Psychology doesn't lie. Human connection, attraction, and respect are built on self-awareness, honesty, and confidence, not on age or surface-level beauty. If this spoke to you today, share it with someone who might need the reminder. And tell me in the comments, which part hit home the most? I love hearing your thoughts, and you never know who your story might inspire. All right, my friends, until next time, Stay curious, stay confident, and above all, stay true to yourself.